Assalamu alaikum. Students, my name is Ali Hassan. As we are going through the syllabus of class 9th regarding physics, we have completed first 4 chapters of class 9th. As I'm picking the book, we have completed the both scenarios like theory and numerical portion of the physics book. And today we are going to start chapter number 5, which is called gravitation. Basically, this chapter includes the basic phenomena of gravity and the laws of Newton. Newton laws are the basically explanation about the relativity between the earth and the body which is falling towards the earth or going upward from the surface of the earth. So the first topic of this chapter is law of gravitation. There is a little bit change that I am using blackboard instead of whiteboard because now I am in my old school, and the law of gravitation is about the force of attraction between two bodies which are lying in different zone of a universe. Let me suppose that there are two bodies. The first one is called m1 and the second one is called m2, and the distance between these two bodies is called d. Then Newton says that the force of attraction between these two bodies is directly proportional to the product of the masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So when we are explaining this scenario with the direct or inverse proportion, then we have to write it as force is directly proportional to product of masses like m1 multiplied by m2. And force is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them, so it is 1 over d square. So by combining these two relations, we have to write combining F is proportional to m1 m2 over d square. So when we reduce or when we exclude the proportionality sign, then we have to put a constant value which will give us an equal expression between force and this expression. So we have to write F is equal to G m1 m2 over d square. This is called gravitational constant. Gravitational constant. And in SI system, the value of gravitational constant is 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Now, as I am going toward the explanation of this theorem, that relation between gravitation and Newton third law, m1 and m2. As I'm going to revise the Newton third law, Newton says that every action has a reaction equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Then if the first body is attracting the second body as a reaction or as an action, as we consider that the body m1 is acting on the body m2 with F1 force, and this is called the action, then according to Newton's third law, there will be a reaction on the m1 from the m2, and that force will be called F2, and these both forces will be opposite to each other in direction, but same in magnitude. So we have to write that F1 is equal to minus F2, so that we can say that F1 is actually in a reverse direction to F2, or F2 is actually in reverse direction to F1. So basically this is called the Newton first law of gravitation, and in this book we have completed this law according to the syllabus of Federal Board. So this is the first topic of chapter number 5. As we are going to the second topic, this is called the mass of Earth. Now we are going toward the second topic of this chapter. This is called the mass of Earth. Basically, we are going to find an expression to find the mass of Earth, because we are unable to find the mass of Earth with help of any lever balance or a physical balance. So there is an assumption that we are going to find basically a formula in which we will use different variables so that we can find the mass of Earth. So first of all, I am going to draw a figure. Let me suppose that this is the Earth, and the radius of Earth can be measured as r. Let me suppose that a small body of mass m is placed on the surface of Earth, and there is no distance between the body and the surface of the Earth. Then we can say that according to the Newton law of gravitation, F is equal to G ME. ME stands for mass of Earth, small m multiplied by, so that this is the mass of the body, divided by r square, which is called the radius of the Earth. Now, as we know that the mass of the body can be expressed as the weight, which is equal to the force, and the formula between force and weight is called W is equal to mg. We will put the value of F in this equation. Mg is equal to Gme into m divided by r square. M will be cancelled with the m, and we will get G is equal to Gme over r square. R square is dividing at this side, but it will multiply with the value of G when we go from the right hand side toward the left hand side. So Gme is equal to Gr square. This will also divide on the both sides. Me is equal to Gr square divided by G. This will be the final expression to find the mass of Earth by putting the values of R, G and capital G, as R is equal to 6 into 10 raised to power 6 meter. This is called the radius of the Earth. The value of G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square, and small g is equal to the gravity, which is equal to 10 meter per second square. When we put these three values in this equation, we will have Me is equal to 6 into 10 raised to power 24 kg. This is an assumptional value of the mass of Earth, which will be found by using this formula. Now we are going toward the last topic. As we are covering the major topics of this book, so the last topic of this chapter will be motion of artificial satellite. Artificial satellites. Let me suppose that a satellite is moving toward the Earth, around the Earth, and the value of mass of Earth is me, and the distance between that artificial satellite and the Earth's surface is h. Then we can find that as the satellite is moving in a circular way, so it will have a force of centripetal, which is called centripetal force, and the formula is Fc is equal to mv square over r. R, which will be defined as the value of the radius of the Earth plus the value of the distance between the surface of the Earth and the artificial satellite. So we will write as R is plus h whole square. As we can say that F is equal to mg, so mg is equal to mv square over r plus h whole square. M will be cancelled with the m, as we are going to find the velocity, so v square will be equal to g into r plus h whole square. We will take a square root on the both sides, then we can say that v square is equal to under root g r plus h whole square. This square root will be cancelled with the square of the v, so v is equal to under root g into r plus h whole square. As we can say that there will be no comparison with the value of h and r, because r the radius of earth has a very major value regarding 6 into 10 to the power 6. Then we can neglect this value and we can write it as v is equal to under root g into r. This will be the final expression for the velocity of an artificial satellite, and according to the formula, by putting this value we can find that velocity of an artificial satellite is nearly about to 8 km per second or 29,000 meter per second, kilometer per hour. This will be the final expression for the velocity of satellite. And these are the both major topics of chapter number 5. So we have covered the major portions of chapter number 5, and inshallah in next lecture we will solve the numerical of this lecture. I hope so that you can easily understand both scenarios regarding artificial satellite and mass of earth. So inshallah, see you next time. Thank you so much. There is a little changing. Basically I have written Fc is equal to mv square over rh whole square, but according to the formula there is no square between this formula on r and h. Now I have removed it. According to this formula there will be no square on r, but our final result was correct. So please इसको correct कर लीजिएगा ताकि next time ये mistake ना हो. Thank you.